Hello, YouTube family. I'm back on my spiritual watch tonight. I need to get into an area that I'm going to discuss tonight. I am going to discuss a topic tonight about the real Jews, not the Gentiles, the imposters of the ones that are floating around in Jerusalem, Egypt. I'm going to talk about some issues that deals with the color of Christ. It deals with the paintings and the museum art in France, in different parts of the world. They had the artifacts of European images of Caesar Borgia, and the image was painted as a blue-eyed devil, let's say a blue-eyed European looking like Esau. Reason why I'm bringing this up tonight, because I have never done any videos extensively to cover the areas of what took place, who were the disciples, who were the prophets of the Bible, the people of color, the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, the original Jews. The original Jews are the people that you see and that you face every day of your life. You see them. Europeans are looking at us. The Hebrew Israelites are the people that you are looking at and seeing. The biblical history that's recorded in the Bible explains what we are, who we belong to. We migrated when it all took place from the beginning in Jerusalem. When things got taken down, people of color was sent from the north to the south, to the east, to the west. And we spread out over the whole 50 states. Back at the beginning of this whole experience, in reference to when we talk about the book of the Bible, we're talking about Rebecca, we're talking about Jacob and Esau, who had the birthright. We're talking about how it all took place, what Rebecca did, what she went through, and the experience of putting all the verses and chapters together. 2 Timothy, all of the chapters, Deuteronomy, 1st and 2nd, right from the beginning of the book. When I start piecing all this together, white people will never admit that they will not trade places with any black, native, Afro-American person. They wouldn't trade places with us. They wouldn't trade places with us because they already know what our history is based on. And the ones that have been educated enough to explain it, the ones that don't want to be around it, the ones that don't want to know about it, and the ones that are trying to run from that. Because Europeans they are inferior to black people on so many different levels. They call them the Gentiles because in the Bible it speaks about them being as that, Gentiles. We don't have unity amongst each other. There's no unity between black and white nationalities, the race of white people versus the race of so-called colored people, or say so-called natives from a foreign country and a foreign land. I spoke about this in my other videos about how Europeans treat people of other nationalities, of ethnicities, uh, black culture, black history, black. It deals with the economic system of robbing us from our land, our culture, our knowledge, our heritage. That's why you don't see no recorded history in the books, the scriptures that speaks highly of Europeans and how they came into power and how they came into becoming the adversaries of oppression, because they were always trying to rule and take control over. They wanted to be in power on so many different levels. So what they did was they were able to manipulate. They were able to steal land. The lands. They did the Indians the same way. The North American Indians were treated badly. Okay, I have that part of that blood in me. I am part North American Indian. I'm a Blackfoot, my Blackfoot Indian native. Okay, I'm come from the lion. I'm a lion. That's why when you see all my videos, you see everything that I post up. Okay, I've always mentioned the Lions of Judah. That's my trademark. That's my what they call them. That's my original name by birthright. Okay, the Bible speaks about that. Okay, so I'm an original Jew. I'm not a Gentile. I'm not someone that's coming from another country stealing the information or trying to portray some form of lie and pass it over to the world as such. I have a clip here that's going to validate some of those issues that I just spoke about right now, tonight. And the reason why I want to educate the minds and get people to be aware of not watching whitewater spiritual movies that you see that was filmed back in the 50s and the 60s, Charleston Heston types, okay? Don't get the version, don't deal with the European version that's not going to give you the whole truth about the history of biblical knowledge and the historic information that was left out, that's not recorded in those museums over in France and in different countries like Germany and Russia. And if we're talking about like Italy, if we're talking about like different countries in that part of the world, don't get your history from a European culture, because you're going to get lies. You're going to get you're going to get caught with getting falsified information that is not relevant, that is not complete, and the information will be hidden with lies, because they were cheating and robbing the earth the same way they have robbed and destroyed nationalities of people in that same respect. The reason why they didn't want us to go to church, the reason why we had to go to a degree of being held without being able to vote, without being able to be able to get involved with marches and fight for constitutional rights. We had to fight for all of that. That was not given to us until we had to fight. Bloodshed was, we talk about all of the trials and tribulations of modern day and modern day lynching and murder and slavery, just like it was in the beginning of time, right from the very beginning of the 1600s, 17 and 1800s. Okay, so this is all about the dark side of history, from Europeans trying to do away with the Word of God and the Bible of Scriptures, and not being able to deal with what they have done. Mockery. They had placed mockery on the Bible's laws, okay, because they were not worthy of the truth. And now I would never allow myself to think that I can trust them with anything if I don't do my own research behind it. This is the video clip that I want everybody to hear. As I go to hit that.
White person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
And I thought I'd go have a look at Jewish literature to see what they say about their origins. And here we see three quotes. The first is in the 1925 Jewish Encyclopedia, which says that Esau, Edom, is modern Jewry. And of course this is contrary to what most people believe today, which is that the Jews are God's chosen people because they are the Israelites. But here the Jewish literature is saying that they are actually from the tribe of Edom, not the tribe of Israel. In the Jewish Almanac in 1980 it says, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or Hebrew. And that's because, truthfully speaking, they are not the Hebrews or Israelites, they are really the Edomites. And also we see here in the Encyclopedia Judaica that Edomite Jews began to call themselves Hebrews and Israelites in 1860.
Nowadays you have movies and television and how do this image have power to speak lies? Whenever you turn on a Christian movie today, you see white Caesar Borgia, Jesus healing people, speaking the scriptures over people. You see white David killing Goliath, who's white. You see Adam and Eve, white. You see Noah, white. You see John the Revelator, white, writing the book of Revelation as a white man.
So color doesn't matter. It sure does. Well, Mary,
you see Paul healing people as a white man, lie.
You know what movies we're talking about? They're all lies. They were all black, as coal.
Shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel and Gentiles across the globe. Last week I came to you and shared that black people in America, you are the biblical Israelites. You are the chosen people. You are with whom the Bible speaks of. You are from the seed of Yehoshua HaMashiach. Now, as for Gentiles, there's going to be many of you that feel like you've been lied to and you've been deceived. The best thing to do is to accept it because it's prophecy. And that comes from Jeremiah 16 and 19, which says, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of the affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. It's okay. You've been lied to. Accept it.
What I'm about to tell you is that the Israelites, the so-called Jews that are living in Israel today, are not the real Israelites. The real Israelites are the black and brown people of the world. What happened was when the black people that were the true Israelites and the brown people that were the true Hebrew Israelites fell from God's word as it is written, were cursed. So what happened was Rome came and sacked that land and they all fled. They went out all around the place, all around up north, south, east, west, but mostly down into Africa. They lived there for a little while in the wilderness until they were taken by slave ships to the Americans. The people that are in Israel today are converts. They come from Khazaria, which is southern Russia. They were visited by Hebrew Israelites at one time and learned from them. That's how they know all the customs. They can speak Hebrew and all that. They learned that. But they converted to Judaism. They are not true Hebrew Israelites.
This is why I was trying to explain in my prior videos about the real biblical truth See, that's why this earth has to pay a price. Because in the second coming, when this all opens up, okay, we're talking about the world after this world. When we go into God's judgment, spiritual world, okay, they will pay a heavy price for this, the European race as a whole, because they sat back. Maybe few of them, very few of them, knew the truth, and they didn't explore it to the world to see. Okay, they were hiding the evils of what they were doing against black people for so many generations, decades, hundreds of years in time. So God has a way of doing things that's going to rectify what they have done to us. Okay? That's why I stay true to my faith and my spiritual faith in believing that all darkness doesn't stay dark. Sooner or later, they won't be able to stop the truth from coming out, because the world will be on a war path. The evolution of the revolution of spirituality is at stake. So I'm going to leave it like that for now and want everybody to realize that I do know the truth. I studied it for 20 plus years. I didn't get this far not knowing the real observation of what's good and evil and what's right and just, and when it comes to the biblical truth. I know who I am.